Alright guys, kind of update. Sure I angled this correctly. So I got the battery kind of mounted on today, just a regular kind of really cheap box, and then strapped on. Just remember that this is going to be covered in some type of fairing. Obviously, it's not going to look like this, especially gotta get rid of this fender. Or, I'm not even sure what the style is going to be. I like sports bikes, like, you know, Ducati racing sports bikes, but can't do the Ducati colors because of the rims, which are blue. So, and I'm not going to change the rims just because I want to have a Ducati look. Ducati is the coloring is after the Italian flag, so it's basically predominantly red, and then some white, and then some green. So that doesn't go well with blue. So I need to figure out what the fairing system is going to be. But anyway, sorry. Got the battery mounted. It's a 72 volt system. Cyclone's on there. I'm going to go out for a really small, slow ride just to make sure nothing blows up. I need to tighten everything again. As you can see, like, there's a whole bunch of zip ties that haven't been cut yet. So everything's on there, and everything should work. Obviously I tested it a little bit before this. But so I'm just gonna go for a ride, a really slow, probably 10 mile per hour max ride, and just take a look at things as I ride. Alright, so let's get going. Let's also turn up the music. Okay. Keep it wrapped. Alright, so let's get going. So, I also changed the handlebars, so it's a little bit more aggressive. I shouldn't really not. Okay, that doesn't sound good. Whoa. So far, so good. Okay, feel a little bit of. Maybe I need to tighten up that mounted, the motor mount a little bit. It feels so I'm going like 14, 15. So obviously a little bit faster. This is not as flickable as my other bike, definitely. So definitely a much more aggressive riding position, as you can see. I feel like, okay, this feels, the handlebar feels a little bit not centered. It's tilted a little bit to the left. Okay, so I need to fix that a little bit. I hate messing around with that stuff because when you tighten the handlebar, you actually have to tighten it. You are actually turning it a little bit when you tighten it. So this is a heavy ass bike, by the way. So as I mentioned before in the video description of so I had the generators on the bike. I think it again needs a little bit more reinforcement. But yesterday we had a really bad major storms here, and we were without power for about 6 hours. And during that entire time, I was able to. I had power. I just used my generator on my bike as to charge my phone and charge my laptops and charge some of my neighbors' cell phones also. So just going 50 miles per hour, not very fast. I'm actually on a lower charge, and what I found out with the battery pack, when I took out the battery pack to kind of, obviously to move it to the bike, I found that one of the batteries was actually disconnected. The top one, where I mentioned before, I had to always keep balancing the batteries. after charging it through the stereo connection on the 72 volts, or especially after a long ride. And that was pretty much why, because the top only had 3 packs and the bottom had 4 packs, so the top lost a lot of power. So hopefully, now that it is obviously visible to me and properly connected and taped together, I won't have that issue anymore, because it's really, really annoying to always have to check to make sure that the connections are done correctly. But wow, this bar seems so small compared to the bike. It feels like I'm on a bobber or something like that. I'm not sure. A bobber is like, and I'm not even sure if this is correct. It's like a kind of like a cruiser with a really small handle. Yeah, it feels like I'm on a bobber. There's also some gear noise at the bottom of I think the derailleur is, again, it's not, yeah, and the other thing too is, like, I'm not shifting on this. As I don't think I mentioned it here, but in a post I mentioned this bike was designed for a 36-tooth chainring, and as I mentioned before, I bent my, when I was removing the, that bump was okay. Then this battery pack is a little bit tilted also, so eventually over time it's gonna slip over to the right. I need to fix that too. So there's a couple small fixes that I need to do. What was that? An airplane. I gotta fix that also. Let's test the brakes on this. Back brake is loose. Yeah, so obviously I had to take everything. This feels really weird to pedal. Really, really weird. It feels like, it doesn't feel like a regular, like with this handlebar, and the way and how low the seat is, and also where I'm at, it feels like the geometry of the bike is not very ergonomic. It's just not designed for biking, basically. It's definitely, I can definitely get aggressive on this bike, but yeah, so that'll be it for now. I need to just rest a little bit, because I need to work quite a bit this week, help them out a little bit. So over this week, I'll probably just touch up on some of these small issues that I mentioned before. With the battery pack, I'm a perfectionist, so I want the handlebar to be perfect. So the battery pack, handlebar, and tighten up the motor mount a little bit, because I feel maybe it was just getting itself into position, but it felt a little bit. Also, I want to tilt back that stupid the throttle a little bit also, because I can't see what voltage I'm at now. So obviously I don't have the power meter anymore, and that's okay. But I do need to see the voltage, because you can tell from the voltage drop, or I can tell from the voltage drop, what my amp draw is, because I'm just so used to this bike and to my batteries. So yeah, just going 15. Headed back at the moment, not really pushing it. Yeah, so it's going to be stuck on 44 tooth to the second gear, whatever that is, on the back forever, until maybe later when I, okay, yep, see the chain came off with the motor right there, so yeah, I need the chain alignment issue. I saw that before. I think it's the, what's that thing called? Can I even pedal? Yeah, it's the tensioner on the tensioner on the engine on the engine kit, or sorry, on the motor. Not on the actual bike itself, but on the motor. It needs to be aligned for this bike. But anyway, yeah, that was decent. That's why you go slow. on the first try. Oh yeah, also the rear brake. I need to fix that. There's no rear brake at all. Yeah, this thing is really weird. Also, there's no fork in the front too, so you feel the road a little more. Not that the other fork was that good anymore. Also, the pedal crank seems a little bit loose. I need to tighten that. So this thing we need to tighten up a lot of things. All right, guys. Hope you guys like that.